Every human being, our bodies are so intelligent, and they notice the energetic changes. Whether you're registering it or not, we notice the energetic shifts. We notice when someone is there or is not there. And it doesn't matter how numb you've become, on some level, your being will register that. And what I love about bringing aliveness to speaking is we bring aliveness to our interactions. And it's actually a way of honoring each other when we interact.
Yeah.
Quiet way of just honoring each other. I see you. You're worthy of presence. You are always worthy of presence.
Yes.
And you will always be worthy of presence.
Yes.
And there's something so deep in
Yes.
offering that to somebody, that at the bare minimum, you will offer somebody your presence and your energy, even if they can't meet you there. But you will be an invitation to presence in the world. And I think that ripple effect is humongous.
Oh. Hello and welcome to the True Wealth podcast, where we ask the question, what does it mean to be truly wealthy in this digital age of distraction and disconnection? I'm your host, Betty Cotton Birtles, blues singer, Buddhist, mum of two, and former global shoestring adventurer turned hypnotherapist and mindset coach. I believe that by healing our past and changing our beliefs, we may achieve not only the external successes, the house, the relationship, the money, the impact, but also internal success, the ability to actually enjoy our lives, because it's the joy and happiness that makes it all worthwhile. Join me as I invite friends, colleagues, and esteemed teachers to discuss means of enhancing enjoyment in our lives, following our inspiration as individuals to create whatever it is that lights us up, so that we might radiate that energy out into the world via our businesses or our day-to-day lives, with the intention that all beings may benefit. I believe that this is where true wealth lies. Welcome to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode. I am really excited again for another amazing guest, and I know you're going to love her. Today's guest is Thea May, who is a really amazing woman. She's a voice coach and speaking expert. I connected with Thea at summer camp, the Happy Startup Summer Camp, which honestly, if you've been listening to the podcast for any amount of time, you will have heard me talk about, because it is just such a fabulous event. And I was there last month in September for the second time. And that's where I connected with Thea in the sauna, as you'll hear. And we had a great time talking about, motherhood and our work. And I also went to her workshop, which was all about speaking flow. And it was really, really interesting workshop about using archetypes or archetypal energies to bring out different aspects of your voice and your speaking to support you. It was really, really amazing. I really recommend her. She's also a spoken word poet, and she has a really beautiful presence, and I think you're going to love her. I really enjoyed this conversation. My goodness, it's so funny when time just flies, and this tends to happen most times I sit down with people. Yeah, and it was the same on this occasion. We just had a brilliant time. And then I asked her to spontaneously, I just asked her if she'd give us an example of one of her speaking flow guided meditations. And she agreed. So at the end, you'll hear her offering one of her meditations to help you to tap into your power and to really get into alignment, which I think, and she thinks and says, is vital really when you're speaking. You know, you need to be speaking from all parts of your body. And this conversation was just so juicy and rich. I enjoyed it so much. You know, we really talked about what makes an engaging speaker, or she also talks about how to introduce yourself without the cringe. You know, what do you do? You know, if you're somebody who freezes when somebody asks you what you do, she gives you a really great tip, and gave me also a really great tip for how to do that once you've connected in with your own your body's wisdom and connected to your personal power. All right, get this. Speaking up is how we change everything. There's a shift happening. You can feel it in your bones. The old ways of communicating, performing, posturing, pleasing are cracking. Speaking flow has always been in service to something greater, a new way of communicating that is rooted in alignment and moral clarity, centered in the body and its embodied wisdom, grounded in dismantling harmful systems, oriented towards co-shaping a just and caring future. It's no longer about polishing our pitch. It's about speaking from power, not for it. That's beautiful, isn't it? It carries on to influence with integrity, to stir hearts and move systems towards liberatory, ethical, sustainable, and kinder ways of being together. The Shift Manifesto is a rally cry for cultural change, a short fire starter read for people who know we don't need to speak louder, we need to speak truer. That's it. That's her manifesto. It gives me goosebumps. I feel it as true. I know this as true. It's so important that we learn to speak from power, from our power. And this work is so aligned with my own work. You know, my work being about how do we remove our obstacles to our own personal power? How do we remove our blocks to our power? And here's Thea talking about, okay, also about tapping into the power. And then really speaking from that place. Oh, it gives me goosebumps. I'm so excited. Okay, enjoy the conversation. I certainly did. Well, this is very exciting. Hello and welcome to the podcast, Thea.
Hi, Betty. Hi. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I loved that little moment when that invitation happened in the sauna. And yeah, thank you for having me here.
Oh, such a pleasure. No, really good. So the sauna that Thea's talking about is the sauna in at the Happy Startup summer camp, which we met at. And you were there last year as well, Thea, weren't you? So I think
That's right.
we never really kind of landed together last year, but this time we were in the sauna together and in various places together, and it was beautiful. I remember having such lovely conversations, which is the beauty of summer camp, isn't it?
Absolutely. The richness of conversations, I feel like I long for that most of the year round and get little like tastes of it all year round. But then you get to summer camp and you're suddenly in like a bath of rich conversations, like relaxing, soaking, feeling, being in this, like drenched in rich, enlivening and nourishing conversations for 2.5 days that kind of, yeah, just rolls on for the rest of the year. It's just wonderful. It's very special.
Yeah, it is really, really special. Um, I mean, for people, seeing as we've jumped straight into summer camp, I feel like maybe we give a bit of context for people
Yes.
who don't know what we're talking about, obviously we've just said there's lots of wonderful conversations, and there's a sauna. Look, and you were speaking there this year and giving a workshop. So Thea, how was, I mean, do you want to explain what that was like for you? And maybe like how did you, what's your experience of it like, been like coming to summer camp? And yeah, how it was for you maybe this year?
Hmm. So for those of you who don't know already, summer camp is a gathering of 150
No,
people.
yeah, I think so.
150
Yeah.
people, I think, in a field in the south coast in England. And mostly purpose-led people, not all entrepreneurs, but everyone's either at some different stage of their purpose connection,
Mm.
but seeking it regardless. Um, and so that's the sort of spirit of the event of being leaning into discovering, deepening, or offering from your purpose. And that's a wonderful energy in the group. And interestingly, last year was the first year I went. In fact, I'm going to wind back a tiny bit.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
I have a 3-year-old boy, and when I was pregnant, I was delivering the biggest, boldest iteration of my work that I'd ever done. And it was a 6-month program while I grew my baby.
Wow.
So I was like birthing my work in the world and then birthing. And then when it finished, and within a month, I gave birth. So I gave birth
Wow.
to a child as well. It was absolutely wild. It felt so cosmic and serendipitous and aligned, and there are no coincidences. So it was phenomenal. And then while I was pregnant delivering the program, I clocked summer camp and I was like, that, I'm going to go to that. When I finish doing this birthing thing, I'm going to go to that.
Right.
It was like a calling card for me. It had a
Yeah.
frequency that just went like,
Mm.
go here. And so I marked it for later, right?
Yeah.
And then first year of motherhood, if for anyone who's ever done it, anyone I've ever spoken to has been like, yeah, you don't manage anything you think you're going to get to when you get
Right.
to motherhood at all. Um, so then the second year came around and I started to gain some capacity, and the pitch invitation came out, and so I was like, there's that thing. I'm gonna pitch it. I've got capacity. I'm still breastfeeding. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I can't take him with me. Work towards finishing breastfeeding. He'll be just turned 2 years old. Let's do that. Okay. So I talked to my husband and we're like, can I do this? Can we work towards this so that I can be there? It's going to be away for 4 days. It's quite a big ask.
Yeah.
At that time, that was the first time we'd really planned to be
Mm.
away for that long. And so it's quite a big deal when you're still breastfeeding and they're
It
2 years
really is.
old. And,
Yeah.
so, everyone's journey is different and everyone's timeline is different. But I wanted to breastfeed for 2 years and I was doing. So I put my pitch in and got a yes. And that was amazing. And I pitched to run um, introducing yourself, cringe-free introductions using speaking flow, which
Yeah.
is joy and love as
Mm.
your energy for introducing yourself around your work. And gives you a completely different doorway. So that's the work I shared. And but at the time when I was there, my mum is young onset dementia diagnosed and is in the early stages of that. And I really struggled to be present last year because I was so overwhelmed with grief as though there was like a stage shift and lots of things changing and the sort of realization of where we were at. And so I turned up there also the second time ever I'd been away from my son. Um, so it was like I was so swollen with emotion and grief and lots of things like yeah I was struggling to be present, um and yet it still held all of that, and I
Mm.
just thought that was so amazing, like even though, and the workshop went brilliantly and like people had an amazing time and I was
Mm.
so um grateful and enlivened by the way that people received
Mm.
this work that I'd been continuing since I gave birth and sort of ticking over in the background and was in the sort of next iteration of it. And it's, it really is not the work I was trained in. It's the work that's evolved as I've done it for over 15 years. It's now my piece. And
Mm,
um, to just see it land with people was so validating as well, just
mm,
re-emerging from motherhood. Can I do this work
mm.
on my own in this way without, as a mother
Yeah.
now, like everything's changed. Um, it was the first time I delivered something in person since I'd become a mum. So it was massive stuff. And summer camp just held all of that. And
Mm,
I didn't have to hold it in the background.
mm,
I could be with it and I could open up to people about that. And then these rich conversations would happen. So like
mm,
all of the fact that I could talk about who I am as a professional
mm,
and who I am as a new mother and then who
mm.
I am as a grieving daughter, like was all in the same soup and welcomed and held and uh, everyone else shares where they're at, their stories, their current griefs and challenges and nuances and soul snagging. And, it's just it's so rare to be in an
Yeah.
environment that can hold all of that, where you can be your professional self and there isn't the split.
Right.
There isn't the split.
Right. Yeah.
And it was great because I was like, I knew it. I felt the calling card. Put my pitch in. The work was a good fit to those people,
Yeah.
and it is as good as I thought it was.
Yeah.
It's great, fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy to know about this event and to be part of it. And it's just, thank you, universe. I heard you, and I'm grateful.
Yeah. Beautiful. And do you know what you just said seems for me, having just been looking at your website, I feel like it is, I mean, it's clear from how you are and how you present yourself that why it's a fit. Because it seems to me that, you know, um, where do I want to go with this? Um, and I was in your workshop at summer camp. I loved it. And what I what I get from you at a very zoomed out level is
Mm.
just like to bring, what to just be present, to bring all of ourselves and kind of it's about authenticity, isn't it? Like that's what you are, I think,
Yeah.
bringing, what you're helping and guiding people in doing, like bringing I don't know about all parts of yourself, but just, yeah, I don't know. Speak to that. You tell
Mm.
us.
Wholeness is the word that I
Wholeness. Yeah.
often use. So it's not like it's slightly different from all of yourselves, warts and all, right?
Right.
Because um, there are times and places for that, but I
Yeah.
mostly work with people within their professional spheres around
Yeah.
their most meaningful work. So they might not want to bring warts and all to an investment conversation,
Right.
or and that's appropriate that they
Yes,
would
it's
be
not
quite creative
helpful.
around that.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
However, it's more an energetic wholeness of what fires you up and why does that fire you up? So that's because of the accumulation of all of your life experiences, because of all of your sensitivities and sensibilities and interests, all of these stitched together to make the patchwork of you that is enlivened by certain things. And so that energy in your body, which is aliveness, shows up and nudges you. It nudged me when I saw the summer camp and I was like, I want to go there. That's a perfect fit. We're going to be good friends. And that was aliveness. That was my aliveness based on my tapestry of life talking to me and driving,
Mm, mm,
right? And it's the aliveness that nudged me in my work when I trained to teach voice and speech to actors. I went into the theatre
mm,
world and was like, nah,
mm,
mate, this is not for me. It's not my world. I don't care
mm.
enough about theatre. I don't care. It's not
Yeah.
interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Went into the business world, did that for a long time, nearly 10 years. Well, yeah, 7 or 8 years before I shifted a bit. Cutting my teeth on like presentation skills, were
Mm,
public speaking, doing meetings, sharing your thoughts, being succinct, like all of that stuff, confidence work, basically,
mm-hmm,
which was very well, wonderful. I loved it and a lovely thing to give people. But then I got bored.
mm-hmm.
I was like, confidence is cool and all, but this person I'm working with today just wants to get a promotion for a job they hate. I don't,
Right.
not very enlivening to me that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what, to what end? Confidence to what end? You know,
Right.
speaking power is a power.
Right.
It's a force. It's a phenomenal um, capacity to have influence in the world. And so I'm like, I've got this skill set that is
Yeah.
basically putting an incredible tool in the world, done well. So who am I
Yes.
willing to give that to? Who do I
Oh,
want to work with and give voice to? What voices do I want to raise in the world with my skill set? Because that's my service, that's my
yes.
alignment in this lifetime. And
Oh,
so then I noticed there were people who came into my coaching studio who were lit up from the inside out by what they wanted to say. It mattered to them. It was scary for them to say out loud, or it had consequences, or it had braveness, and braveness was needed to say these things. It stacked with their integrity, with their belief system, with their values, with who they were as a person, with the impact they and imprint they want to leave in the world. You know, it stacked. And
mm.
it was like as soon as they were hooked into that, I didn't need to do any voice work anymore. And don't tell anyone because they stopped doing voice work and started doing soul voice work.
Right.
But
Wow. Yeah.
and it became soul-led speaking, which is now
Yes.
sort of speaking flow, which is all
Yes.
that's my approach is speaking flow,
Uh-huh.
rather than speaking as skill, it's
Yeah.
speaking as energy.
Ooh, speaking as energy. Beautiful. I'm going to just write that down because I want to come back to that. Um,
So yeah, I have slightly forgotten the question that you asked at the beginning.
Me
But
too.
yeah, it was authenticity. So yes,
Yeah, yeah.
authenticity, but I think authenticity um it's like adding richness to what that word could mean, but doesn't always have the power in the word.
Yes,
Do you know what I mean? It's like an overused word, and you
it
see it
is.
in very corporate spaces where you don't feel the authenticity. There isn't a congruence between behavior and culture
Yes,
and um, policy, for example. That
yes.
so it's inauthentic actually,
Yeah,
and
and incongruent.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah,
I'm careful about using the word authentic
yeah.
in my work. I've come back to presence, which is a word I
Yes,
also avoided for years because it got overused.
yeah,
So I move around different words. I'm currently my favorite one is aliveness.
yeah. I love that.
Aliveness and alignment are the two words I'm rolling around in at the moment.
Mm, good words to be rolling in. I love that. Um, I've written down something from, I've written a few things down on my little notebook here from your website.
Mm,
Um, One of them you just spoke to, but I'll read it anyway, which is, well, you were getting at is speaking power has
mm,
been concentrated for too long in harmful and extractive systems,
yeah.
which it like hit me reading that because I know it to be true. And what you're saying is if you have this incredible, well, you've got this skill to help people tap into their power
Mm,
and have a really like enhance the impact that they're able to make, then there's a real ethical question, isn't there? Of like, yeah, which is what you just said, about, okay, so whose voices am I going to amplify?
yeah, it became a responsibility,
Right.
right? And so I
Yeah.
do have a powerful skill set,
Yes.
and I am going to be discerning about who I give that,
Mm. Yes, good. Yes. And now this is so
right?
interesting, Thea, because it really echoes my experience was, when I trained in the method I trained in RTT, I was like, flipping hell, this is powerful.
Mm,
And so then I'm like thinking to myself, this is so powerful. if I kind of took this and overlaid it with something that's an important cause that I believe in,
Mm.
where is the maximum
Mm.
like combination of power gonna
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
that makes me feel that I'm in the right place doing the right thing? So it feels to me like that's a similar thing to what a similar process to what you've been through. And maybe yeah, I wonder maybe people who are earlier, who are listening, who are like earlier in their journey, maybe, or just kind of starting out in this. Yeah, that's an interesting idea, isn't it? Like, get your skills, get skilled up, know where your power is, and then choose where you want to take it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally. I remember the moment when I realized that so viscerally that it's going back a long time now, but I had this high paying client. He was actually in investments and um young guy. I mean, we were both young. We were similar ages. We are like probably late 20s, early 30s. And he hated his job. But I had this sense that he was doing it because he should,
Yeah.
not because he wanted to. And his dad paid for my coaching,
Uh-huh.
which told me another nudge of like, oh, you are doing this because you feel
Yeah.
you should. You're being
Uh-huh.
supported to not be yourself,
Mm.
is what it felt like. And so he had an inauthenticity snag in his soul, right? Not
Mm.
aligned, but he's like, well, look, can you just make it look like I care about what I'm talking about?
Seriously.
I said those exact words.
Oh my God.
And
Sorry. I shouldn't
and
laugh.
it was a
It's
bit of a punch
awful.
in the gut
Yeah,
for
that is
me. I was
awful.
at the very beginnings of
Mm.
soul-led speaking and speaking flow work. It was the very beginnings of it, but my integrity felt the punch in the gut.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, that I don't know. I don't want to teach people to lie
Yes.
and perform and
Yes.
fake.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that at all.
Yeah.
And interestingly, my work had already shifted from the way that I was taught I was taught really well and really beautifully, uh, because when you teach actors, you teach them to connect to aliveness, really, in many ways.
Mm.
And but it's a slightly different expression, because it's other people's words, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
But what he didn't have was a connection to what he wanted to say. And
Mm.
so it didn't matter how many structures I tried to put in place, how many sort of tools, I could no longer, and I think perhaps had it been a few years earlier, I might have done a better job at teaching him to fake it, but I could no longer teach him how to fake it. It was like that, I just couldn't do it. And so we had a few awkward sessions together. He got some change, but not the change I was used to getting with my clients. And I remember so clearly, can you teach me how to make it look like I care about what I'm talking about? And that was it. That was the last ill-fit client I ever
Yeah.
took.
It's that's really interesting, Theo, because it's like the I mean, that's acting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like that's where you came from. It's quite
it is.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's like now you're doing the opposite. You're
Hmm.
not allowing people to act. Or maybe you are. I don't
No,
know. Maybe
no, I
maybe
don't.
there's an
No.
element of
No, I don't. And actually, I
yeah,
pull it up in my sessions
yeah,
and I hold a space where the invitation is be be real.
yeah,
Like make yourself and somebody else feel something.
right.
Like allow the aliveness into the room, the energetic field to wake up so that the resonance is there, right? Resonance is a frequency based word.
Mm,
So yeah, if you don't allow the energetic field to move, then the energetic field is dead, it's dormant.
yeah,
And so the sensing, feeling, resonating field is not awake, which
yeah,
means that you're basically having an inert interaction.
Yeah, right. Oh my
And we
God.
know what that feels like.
We really know. Well, I mean,
And
do
it's
we? I mean, we
it's
know, but do we
exhausting.
all know?
It's
Yeah,
exhausting.
it is exhausting.
It's really exhausting because
Yeah.
when you have to put energy out, think about what you want to say,
Yeah.
connect to all the things it might need to connect to,
Yeah.
notice the person in front of you, notice
Yes.
yourself,
Yes.
never enter an energetic exchange where you
Yes.
are um, fed back as well as feeding
Yeah.
energy. So you receive and send in an
Hmm.
energetic interaction. Um, but in an inert interaction, you just put energy out and you get
Yes.
neither of you get anything back, and
Yeah.
everyone is depleted from the interaction.
Right. This is so interesting. I'm absolutely hanging on every word that you're saying. I love it. And the energy is seriously alive here. And hopefully everyone listening
Oh
can feel
yeah.
it too. But this but th and this is just I get oh, I don't know where to go. I'm so excited. I can't find the words. So it's bringing to mind an experience I had recently with a man where it was a professional context and we were we'd been brought together we'd been given an exercise where we had to ask each other certain questions and answer them and then
Mm.
feedback on the experience. And I just had this experience there of like, whenever he spoke, and this is so unusual for me, but whenever he spoke, I just switched off completely and I had no idea what he'd said. And I was just like, oh my God, I just keep doing this. And this is not my natural way of being. Like my work requires me to go like to the depths of somebody's psyche and pull out the thing that needs pulling out. And this particular person there was something about the way that he was speaking that I just shut down.
Mm. Yeah,
And
it does shut us down. And then we
yes,
become passive participants in
right.
the
And you're
conversation,
not
not
taking
active
anything
participants.
on.
No, you're not actually there.
Right. But I've made a commitment with myself that if I ever miss something somebody says,
Mm.
I ask them to repeat it because I don't want to miss anything anyone ever says. If I'm
Mm.
in a one-to-one
Mm.
exchange, I mean, I wouldn't do that if they're on stage or something, of course. But
Mm.
so with this man, I said, I'm really sorry, but I just zoned out for a second there. Would you mind repeating? Like, um, and that was really interesting. And then from what came of that was that he acknowledged for himself that he hadn't been connected to what he had said.
I love that. That's so, it's so wonderful that he was honest about
Yeah.
that. I love that you called it out without calling it out.
Well, because it was my
You called
fault.
him in, basically. You called both
Yes,
of you in too.
yes,
We're not here, are we?
yeah, we're not
And
connecting.
then how was it after that?
Well, it was a very short interaction, and I never like, it was just a few questions, and then that was
Mm.
the end. But
So interesting.
um, but yeah, there was a moment of like mutual appreciation for the fact that we had then come together, and that he was talking about his vision, basically what he wanted, and he wasn't connecting to it.
Mm.
And I wasn't I couldn't connect to it because he wasn't connected to it. And I think this is one of my particular fortes is, or I mean, like, if you want to call it that, but like, I hear when people speak from their heart, and if they're not connecting to their heart, it just doesn't land.
Yeah.
I can't kind of, I just feel like what's happening? You're not even speaking a language I understand here. So
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
But then having made that commitment to myself to nudge towards more heart connection, yeah, it's beautiful.
That's
Anyway,
great. You acted as an invitation in the world to presence, which is beautiful.
yeah.
And I don't know you very well, but I recognize that you're highly empathetic and a deep feeling,
Mm.
sensing person. It pours off you, and it's also what allows you to do your work. As it's what allows me to do mine. We're in the
Mm.
business of sensing and feeling congruence
Right.
and incongruence in people and how we
Yes.
work with people. So we have high sensitivity on these pieces,
Yes.
and what's beautiful about that is that you then would have the capacity to invite him to come into presence.
Yeah.
But we almost everybody, in fact, I'm going to say every human being, our bodies are so intelligent, and they notice the energetic changes. Whether you're registering it or not, we notice the energetic shifts. We notice when someone is there or is not there. And it doesn't matter how numb you've become, on some level, your being will register that.
Mm.
And what I love about bringing aliveness to speaking is we bring aliveness to our interactions. And it's actually a way of honoring each other when we interact.
Yeah.
Quiet way of just honoring each other. I see you. You're worthy of presence. You are always worthy of presence.
Yes.
And you will always be worthy of presence.
Yes.
And there's something so deep
Yes.
in offering that to somebody, that at the bare minimum, you will offer somebody your presence and your energy, even if they can't meet you there.
Mm.
But you will be an invitation to presence in the world. And I think that ripple effect is humongous.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yes. And worthiness. So, this is a really interesting
And
topic because so many people don't feel worthy, do they? Like that fundamentally something's gone wrong at
mm,
some point and they've picked up an idea that they're not worthy and they don't deserve. And so
mm.
then do you find this with people when they come to you? Do they confront their unworthiness?
So I'm very, very careful with these boundaries, because we're entering therapeutic,
Right.
and it's not my place, it's not my training, it's not my skill set. Therefore, it's unethical for me to
Mm,
have these conversations. And
yeah.
I'm really careful with that boundary. I don't mind some of that being in the room. I don't mind if
Yeah.
tears come through. I don't mind if we even name why
Yeah.
they're there. I can hold all of that, but I'm not going to unpack it with somebody.
Yeah.
It's not ethical of me to do that. And
Mm,
so, yes, is the short answer to your
yeah.
question. Yeah, 100p, that is in the room. Worthiness is like bang in the center of the room.
Right.
Um, so I ran a workshop last week in person, which is the best.
Yeah.
And I did my three centers alignment exercise, which is aligning the gut, heart, and head,
Mm,
the energetic intelligence of your body. And the people who were in the workshop, it was so beautiful. They stopped afterwards. They had tears in their eyes. Quite a few of them had tears in their eyes. And one of them said to me, I haven't felt this feels really I feel really powerful. And I haven't felt this powerful for months. And I think I did that exercise in the whole thing was because it can expand and contract. That version was less than 10 minutes, the whole meditation. And I did 3 flow activations in sequence, and the final one was the gut heart head alignment. And her whole posture had changed, her
mm,
eyes had brightened. She was a woman who came in with a lot of like cloud,
mm-hmm.
right? Overwhelm, just the
Yeah.
overwhelm. And she was just a different person. It was remarkable. And the word she said was, I feel really powerful. And it was like, yeah, babe. Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
and you deserve to feel this
Yeah.
powerful. And
Right.
it's always in there. It's always with
Yeah.
you.
Mm,
And actually easier to access than you might realize.
mm,
And that's the power and beauty of tuning in. And it's so much easier said than done if you've got care responsibilities, if you've
mm-hmm.
got overwhelming work, just engaging with anything to do in the global sphere, political sphere is just like so harsh. And yet she was amazed at how quick she had accessed so much resourced herself to access so
Mm.
much of her own existing in the moment right then power.
I'm getting this idea, Thea, that maybe you could give us a condensed version of it.
Maybe I could.
Would you be
Yeah,
up
I'd
for
love
that?
to. Yeah,
Like,
I'd
wouldn't
love
it be
to.
great if people who are
Yeah,
listening could get a little taste of what
I
that
would love
might be like?
that. That would
Okay.
be an absolute honor.
Do you want to do it now or do you want to do it later?
Hmm. We can do it now, and it could be a really nice little midpoint in our conversation, or we could finish with it towards the end of the conversation and leave people with that so that when the podcast finished, they can then roll from that place.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe at the end would be beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
I think
yeah,
that's my
great.
strong
Okay,
sense.
let's do that then. So
Um,
there's a
Give
few
me like 5 whole minutes minimum,
okay, okay, great. Goodness me, time is flying.
hasn't it? I just checked it.
Jeez,
Surprise.
Louise. Okay. All right. So let me just, because I love that your whole thing is speaking flow, and I feel like we are flowing in the speaking.
Flowing.
Yeah.
So flowing.
So flowing. And sadly, time is not limited, is not unlimited. And we have things that need to happen, and people listening also have things that need to happen. So, um, hmm, uh, just looking at my notes, going which way shall we go here? There's a few things. So maybe I'll ask a few things and we'll try and not flow too much with the like a
Turning
little
flow, turning flow level down. This is not current. It is just filling a glass of water. Fine.
beautiful. Okay, so you mentioned before about your workshop at summer camp, the first one, when you said about introducing yourself without the cringe.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's another thing that people might, who are listening, might find really helpful. And you
Mm-hmm.
talked about joy and love, and that made my ears prick up. So,
Ooh.
how, in a, glass-sized flow, can
Yeah.
we do that?
Mm. Glass sized. Okay.
If
So
possible, what the
yeah, absolutely.
headlines.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing to do is what I call my flow activations. So there's 5 of them that you can do. Um, and they vary in length and depth depending on what time you've got. We'll be doing one of them at the end, which is the gut heart head, which is the one I really recommend tuning into because it brings your whole body. It awakens your body's intelligence and your um, integrity, basically. So, because your heart is what you care about, what you're passionate about, what you love. Your head is the place of creativity and possibility, the what if place, imagination. And your gut is what you need and what is driving you, what's moving you. And so they have different prompts that you can work with. And as I've sort of spoken to them then. Um, and when you're doing your introduction, if you have stacked your gut, heart, head, and then you speak from or into what's alive for you in your work at the moment. So the ultimate thing is someone says some version of what do you do, right? What's your work? Whatever. Someone says, what do? You answer with why you do it. You don't answer what, you answer why. And you start from aliveness. Well, at the moment, I'm loving doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when we answer a what with a what, it becomes a transaction of information exchange. So we can stay in the layer of information, not the layer of connection.
Mm.
So when you answer a what with a why, you
Mm.
immediately shift the conversation into the layer of values,
Mm.
alignment, and resonance.
Oh, yeah, nice.
It's a sneaky little trick. It
Mm.
works a treat. And even if you only say one sentence, you want that sentence to be something that sparks a question.
Yeah.
So
And then you go
instead of saying,
deeper. Yeah.
exactly. So I'll give you an example. I
Mm.
used to say I'm a speaking coach, and people say, "Oh,
Yeah.
right, for public speaking," or "Oh, what, right, for speech and language therapy," and I'd be like, "No, sort of, more
I,
like, you know." So we're
yeah.
still in the information layer. We're still clarifying.
Yeah.
So they're asking clarifying questions,
Uh-huh.
which is information layer, information layer. You've not actually connected yet. Basically, it's the equivalent of having one foot back, right? They're not leaning in yet. Neither of you are really leaning in yet. And that's cool. Most interactions finish there, right? Got information. I'm interested in that information. Yes, no. Let's move on. So when you answer with a why, which would be, I help people who give a shit talk about what they care about from a place of energy, not a
Mm.
place of skill. I help people who are passionate about changing the way we live together and thrive together talk about that
Mm.
at any scale.
Mm.
Immediately, people lean in. I feel the change. I see their
Yeah.
eyes light up. I feel them want to ask a not we're not in the clarifying layer anymore. We're in the layer of connection.
Yeah.
And so now this is they want a question that gives me a doorway into how they want to come into my world. And
Yeah.
I answer their question
Mm.
because that's what's resonant for them in relation to my world. I could go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've done is spark their curiosity.
Yeah.
Now we're in a connected interaction. Whether it
Mm.
lasts 1 minute or 20 minutes is irrelevant. The foot is in,
Yeah. Nice.
presence has come.
So we're answering when somebody's asking what you do, you're not
Yeah.
answering with a job title, you're answering with a meaningful
Yeah.
why statement,
Mhm.
like why you do it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. And then it opens the door for
It's as
connection.
well.
Yeah, I totally hear you.
And what
Yeah.
was interesting in I did I've done this workshop again since summer camp, but um more recently, like a couple of weeks ago. Because that was a year ago, and that was the first time I delivered that form, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's moved on. And what was so beautiful about doing it a couple of weeks ago was the person, one of the pairs, they were doing their introductions. So, what do you do? And then answering with why you do it. And she started off brilliantly. She gave a great why, and you saw the other person, like, I want to ask something. I'm interested. And
Yes.
then she panicked, the person who was giving her introduction, and then started reading off a list of information in,
Yeah.
like, so I do that with like a podcast and I do workshops, and I was like, stop
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
They haven't asked you how you do it. They don't
Right.
care right now how you.
No.
And she said she noticed in herself immediately. She zoomed up into her head. She'd left her body from our beautiful flow activation
Yeah.
and panicked. I need to prove that I'm professional. Zoop, prove, bing, right into the head, and then just
Yeah.
started regurgitating information at this
Yeah.
person. And the person who was receiving it fed back, because I always do the feedback round is where and when and how did you feel the aliveness?
Mm-hmm.
And when did it change? When did it leave?
Yeah.
So the feedback is on aliveness, not information.
Yeah.
And the person said back, yeah, as soon as you went into your list, I felt like a wall had come up.
And that's exactly what I experienced with this
Exactly.
man, isn't it?
Wall
Like
was
the
there.
same thing. It's like
Yeah.
I think I just can't. And I've always
Yeah.
and this is really interesting, Thea, because in my own personal story, I, as a younger person in my 20s, I never went to university. I was just like, I had a bit of a thing, a story about how I wasn't very intellectual.
Mm.
And so, as soon as that happened and somebody was up in information and intellect, and I was gone, I was like, and
Um,
then what I did to myself was, oh, start beating myself.
mm,
This is because you're the problem. And so, my capacity for actually engaging was, of course, completely shut down, and I was making it worse. So I think
mm,
this, like, in my work, it's such a beautiful kind of complement to yours because it deals with the healing that gets somebody to wholeness
mm,
and why we block ourselves, why we whip ourselves and, all the things that we do to ourselves that stop us from being present effectively. And because, yeah, and oh, I don't know where I was going with this, but like when I was younger, yeah, my partner and I met. We were both teachers teaching English as a foreign language, and we were in the staff room, and we'd have this joke that we'd be given a list of tasks that we had to do, and then I'd just be like, sorry, I just couldn't take on board all the
Yeah.
information. And we
Yeah.
had this like joke where Betty always needs a Betty break, like it's just so funny. And I think that when I've done all the healing I've done, now
Mm.
I'm able to just be okay with exactly how I am and realize it's not a weakness. And I think, the fact that, and I guess maybe people listening might have, I say this in the hope that somebody will, that it might spark
Mm.
something that
It's
where we
we're
need to
really
be okay with how we are.
exactly, and we're really bumping up against the worthiness piece here.
Right.
And oh, one moment. Um, shall we carry on?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. So,
Bumping up against the worthiness piece.
the worthiness piece, because when this woman in my workshop, she zoomed up into her head because she
Right.
suddenly panicked that she had to prove that she was professional, which is a piece of I'm not worthy of being here because I don't fit the professional thing. If I say the thing that's more soul-led, I now look like I'm unprofessional. And all this panic was going on in
Yes.
her in that split second.
Yes. Yes.
And that's her relationship with doing work that's outside of the normal professional tracks, because she's doing quite interesting work that isn't worky. It's
Yes.
very, very emotional
Yes.
what she's doing. And what your story resonates with me so deeply. Um, that feeling of, I also never felt that I was smart enough or intellectual enough. And yet I was always attracted to very intelligent people.
Yes.
And it turns out because I'm not stupid. So
Yes. Right.
my intelligence shows up in a really different way.
Yes.
So I felt really stupid going through school. I did go to university, but I
Mm.
did fine art. So because I
Mm-hmm.
knew I was creative,
Mm-hmm.
so I followed that. But I nearly failed every piece of writing. My
Mm.
dyslexia nearly cost me my master's.
Wow.
Um, but someone passed me with 51. 50 is a fail.
Mm.
They gave me a 50, someone gave me 1 point over in review. And my dissertation, I read it again. It was a piece of shit. It was
Wow.
awful, but I was good at the practical. I never wanted to write an essay about it. I just
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Um, so I really
Amen.
that. And the panic I used to feel, I would
Yeah.
get really defensive, burst into tears
Right.
because I couldn't
Oh,
express myself. I couldn't access the intelligent way I wanted to say it. But that was all
yes.
because of the knocks, the traumas, the stories that I'm not intelligent, I'm not articulate, I'm not um, academic,
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
yet I keep putting myself in conversations where I want to discuss things deeply,
Yes.
critically,
Yes.
intellectually, and
Yes.
vibrantly,
Yes.
and in the layers of um, complexity. And yeah, for a long time, all the way through my 20, like most of the way through my 20s, just bursting into tears with frustration.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, and I don't have that anymore. I
Yeah.
never feel that anymore.
Beautiful.
And that is the healing,
Yeah.
and that's the and speaking flow is part of some of that tools that
Mm.
help you access your own brilliance.
Mm. Beautiful. So, by my reckoning, I think we've got 5 minutes of chat, and then we'll
Yeah.
go for your what
Well,
do you
why
call
don't
it?
we give you
Activation.
and then we'll have 5 minutes after.
Okay. All right, let's do that then.
Then you can feedback on the exercise
Yeah. Okay, great.
Good. I can ask you so what do you do? And you can answer with a well. Why I do it is because. Um, so why don't we
Okay,
do that?
good.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm up for whatever.
Okay, lovely. So it's a guided meditation for a few minutes. So for those of you doing it at home, just make sure you're sat somewhere comfortable, i.e. not driving. But you can actually still do it with your eyes open. So I've had people do it on the bus or on their walk to where they're going and just have it in their ears. So you can still allow it to come into your body. But if you can, closing your eyes and placing your hands on your heart. So we're going to align the gut, heart, and head centers. These are the centers of the body that hold so much intelligence and so much wisdom, and they will nudge you as to what to say. And they stack to create the foundation of your integrity. The head thinking and creativity, the heart feeling and sensing, and the gut is doing and being. So bringing your awareness, using your breath and breathing into your heart center. So placing your awareness and your attention there. Taking a moment to let mine and Betty's conversation to just drop down as you tune in. And bring to mind something you really care about, something that's really meaningful for you, which might be your purpose-led work, or it might be something that's got real aliveness for you today if you want to work with that. But choose a theme you want to work with. And Betty, I'm going to encourage you to work with your work, your most meaningful work in the world, so that we can speak into it afterwards. And ask your heart center, what do I care about here? What do I really love about this work, this place, this theme? And with each new breath, amplify it. Amplify that feeling, the care, the love. And allow it all to bubble up. What do I care about here? And it might turn up as images, words, sensations, colors, phrases, pictures, stories, experiences. Just allow it all to bubble up and move through. Keep it moving. Keep breathing. Keep breathing back into the heart center. Let the intelligence come alive. Almost like opening a box of butterflies. Let them move. You don't need to remember them. You don't need to hold on to them. You're bringing this into your field. So it's with you. Beautiful. And just allow that to all be there. You don't need to do anything with all of these pieces that have come up. Moving your hands up to your head. Placing both hands on your head. The place of creativity and possibility. Using your breath to move your awareness there. Feeling the freshness of this place. And ask yourself, what's possible from this care that I have? What could be possible? This is your big what if. And take off the guardrails and just allow yourself to dream. freshness and possibility. I often have a sense that this big space opens up and I can go anywhere. And again, it might turn up as thoughts, feelings, sensations, stories, experiences. And allow them to all flutter around you without gathering them or holding them or remembering them. Just allow them to be there. And breathe in that freshness of possibility. Wonderful. You might even find yourself smiling already. And then bringing your hands down to your gut, just below your belly button, your lower center. This is the place of need, safety, and drive. It's your belly fire. We have the language. Breathing into that place in your body, using your breath intentionally to move your awareness. And from here, with the care that you have and the possibility that's available, what are you moved to do? What does your body's intelligence and its gut wisdom invite you to do, to create, to action? What's moving you here? I often move a little bit when I'm in all of these centers, but the gut always makes me roll around. And again, might come up as images, words, colors, sensations, experiences, memories, a nudge, a knowing. Wonderful. So to close this practice, and you can scan your hands up through the three centers. You're going to breathe into the gut, move it up to the heart, up into the head, and then breathe out, back down through them. You're connecting them all like they're all on the same same space, same line, same track. Breathing air into them and then settling down through them. Breathing in through all three and back down. And to finish, close with a feeling of deep thank you to your body's intelligence, thanking it for being with you, for showing up for you now, and for guiding you. And bring yourself back, ready to speak with your body's intelligence.
Oh
Welcome
my
back.
God. Oh my God. Thea, I could listen to you all day.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
that's beautiful. Gosh, how was it for you if you're listening? I really want to know.
Yeah, take a moment
Please,
to journal, to write
yeah,
down what's come up, like really note down the aliveness for each place.
yeah, please do.
They're real gifts. They're real gifts from your body.
Real gifts. And do you know what's really interesting is the last episode, which I only published a couple of days ago.
Mm.
I think even the snippet that I selected, it's with Alex Baisley of the Big Dream program, who's such a wonderful man. And the thing that he said that I put front and center in the intro of the podcast was, your calling is a message from your body. to your mind or something
Yeah.
like that. And I'd never thought about it like that. And that's so funny that that synchronicity of how he said that, and I kind of heard it in a new way. And then you've just done something that was basically an activation of what he said. Is That's weird. Yeah, Thea's dancing.
It's cool.
This is magic. Magic is happening live
It's
here
magic,
in the
mate.
room.
Magic. It's alignment,
Yes.
at
Goodness
all
me.
levels. Oh, that's wonderful. So, if we may,
Yes.
I'm going to ask you, so what do you do? And you're just
Yeah.
going to answer with aliveness, the aliveness that you have and for the work that you're doing, your most
Yeah.
meaningful work. And you can start with what I love about my work is, what I'm loving at the moment is. So you can sort of what lights me up at the moment. So all these prompts, to speak into the aliveness and share us a sentence or two about what's alive for you. So what do you do,
Okay.
Betty?
Beautiful. Well, Thea, thanks for asking. What I do and um hmm, what I do is I heal the wounds of individuality,
Mm.
which brings
Wow.
families back together,
Mm.
communities back together, society back together.
Yeah. Well,
And
I want to ask questions. So if you stopped there, you'd
yeah,
find that we would go straight into a depth
yeah.
conversation.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh, wow, that's profound. Like,
Mm,
how do you do that? So now I'm asking you how. So
yeah,
you can tell me.
I love
But you
that.
didn't tell me what you do or how you do.
No,
You just shared your why. And
yeah.
I really want to know more.
Mm.
So now we're in.
I love that. Thank you for that. That's beautiful. And the thing that came up is the aliveness in me, or like, I mean, it was a beautiful experience. Do you want me to? Can I talk about what happened when I? Have we got time to do that, or do we need to stop? Um, Very quickly, in a nutshell, what happened with me was well, I realized that it was about healing the wounds of the individual, which ripples out into the different levels of society. And then the images that were coming, and I mean, I was trying not to cry audibly while you were doing. So it's like, keep quiet, because I hadn't put myself on mute. But I was crying as I saw these images. And what I loved actually was when you said, like, let them be butterflies and don't, because I was holding and it was making me cry. And then as soon as you said, let them be butterflies, I just was like, oh no, they can move. It can move. It's okay. And that was really helpful. So thank you for that. And then, yeah, I had these images of just communities coming together, eating together, in a village hall or in a communal space. And I just like seeing that, and like community ceremonies and celebrations, communities coming together. That's what I saw. And then up in my head, the possibility was like recently I've been just completely well, who knows why, but I've been working with GPs and doctors. Yeah. And it's not something I sought out, um, but I saw my work, this kind of work, being recommended by GPs, you know? And I saw a whole, like, the possibility of every GP in the country knowing that when people come to them, they could actually direct them to a different level of healing. Yeah.
Yeah. Healing the wound of individuality.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I love those words that you chose in quotation marks. This is the beauty of the flow activations and speaking flow itself is you no longer have to come up with what to say. And
Hmm.
it takes such a weight off you. Like,
Yeah.
I never know what to say. You
Yeah.
literally don't need to know. Once you
Yeah.
drop in, the words are gifted to your mouth.
Yes.
They
Yes.
just
Yes.
arrive on
From
your
your body,
tongue.
a gift
They
from your
just
body
come,
to your mouth.
they
Yeah.
just, You just find them in your mouth, and there you are, just saying the most
Yes.
amazing thing. And I just
Yes.
think that's so cool.
So cool.
It's so cool. It's a little bit of magic that we can
It's
all do.
really magical. And it's like all within you.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're listening now, this is all within you right now.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
will do it. We can, there's no one who can't do it. However, there is a caveat, and it's an important one. If you don't give a shit, it won't work.
right. And that's the same with my work. Like I had a
You
person
don't
come to me,
care,
they
it don't
didn't know
work.
what they wanted.
Yeah.
They didn't know, and it didn't work.
Yeah. So at which point they are not the best practitioner for them at that
No.
moment. And if someone comes to me and they have no purpose, they have no idea what they want to do with their lives, I'm like, go see a life coach,
Right.
go to aliveness that you want to work with,
Yeah.
and then
And
come
come
to
back.
me. I'll help you
Yeah.
talk about it. But like, I'm not the
Amen.
we're coming in at the wrong entry point here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you haven't got something you want to say, speaking flow won't activate.
Right.
Yeah, it requires the energy to work with, the energy
Yeah.
of care and passion and drive and
Yes.
possibility, because they're an energy in the body that wants to find words, that wants to be expressed, and you're its channel.
I'm like grinning from ear to ear. If you're listening and not
Oh.
watching the video, you won't be seeing my enormous grin as I'm listening to
Mm.
Thea. And I think to finish, Thea, I mean, there's a couple of things you wanted to mention about your work, if
Mm.
which I'd love to invite you to do. And there's just something that a quote that I took from your website, which I want to read to people
Mm.
listening, which is speaking isn't just a skill, it's a way of shaping culture.
Hmm.
And I
Truly.
love that.
Mm.
And that's like, yeah. So I'm so excited about that. And now, would you like to tell us, um, in as much time as you have available, about how people can come and receive this work
Absolutely, I would love to.
and what's alive in you?
Yeah, right. Following my own instructions.
Yeah.
So yes, there are two things I would love to share with your audience. One of them is the up and coming program that I have, which is called Rising Tide, which is using speaking flow and shifting the way that you speak because you're ready to speak in a different way. You know that the systems we live in are broken, you're working to change them. And speaking is part of the infrastructure that we need to shift. The very way we relate to speaking and speaking about what matters to us is part of what needs to change. And so it's for heart-led people, intentional and purpose-led entrepreneurs, movement leaders, community leaders. Um, if you have something you want to talk about, I want to help you have influence with integrity. And so that's what Speaking Flow is about. It's 4 weeks in November, and I'm gathering 30 change makers to completely change the frequency of speaking up for change. So that's that. That's Rising Tide. We'll pop the link in the notes for you. Um, the spaces are available now, and that's for November 2025, depending on when you're listening to this. There'll be more in the future. So whichever one, wherever you come in. And then the other piece I really want to share with people is I've had this nudge from my body to start, and I've done it in a few different ways, but this one is, I think, the most brave I've done, which is the speaking salons. And it's a conversation club for people who give a shit to practice talking about our most charged and tender collective themes. So these are themes like climate change, like war, like social justice, like racism, poverty, all of the big charged themes that you feel poked by when they might maybe you feel emotionally flooded when you try and talk about it, or you get really angry, or someone says it and you feel like you have to you shut down so that you don't have a fight with somebody. Or these are charged subjects, and I want to hold a practice space for us to practice having them. Even when you don't agree, you can have a generative conversation that leads to connection. So even if you don't agree, this is not about learning how to have conflict conversations. This is not about learning how to convince people to change their mind or prove that you're right. It's none of that. It's not a debating practice. It's how to have generative, connected conversations that lead to connection, even if you don't see eye to eye. So how to hold these with your dad, your colleague, your mate, you know, these people in your everyday life. Yeah, so it's something I'm very passionate about, and it's donation based, so you can come with whatever your resource capacity is, and they're in the evening rather than in our work time. And they're once a month, a monthly conversation club for people who give a shit. Come and practice how to talk about our most tender themes, because
Online.
it's going to ripple out. It's
Yeah.
going to ripple out.
It's definitely going to ripple out.
And we'll
And you
put that
can
in
tune
the
in from wherever you are in the world.
yeah.
And evening time, British time, that is.
And if you have a community and you want me to come and host one of these in your community, then
Mm.
do invite me. And if you hold a community, like a large community where having the learning to have these conversations would be helpful. I mean, they're just
Yes.
helpful for anyone to have these conversations, to be honest.
Yes.
I'm open to invitations in person in the UK,
Yeah.
probably, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
Um, I just want to hold these spaces in as many places as possible, because for me, that's part of how I contribute to the way we change our systems. And speaking is part of the infrastructure we need to shift.
Thea, beautiful. So beautiful. It's been such a pleasure having you here. I feel like we could have carried on talking for at least a few more hours.
Oh God, yeah.
So maybe you have to come back again and we can do a bit more. It's been such a pleasure. And there are questions I've got on my page that we never got to, but it was an absolute joy to be here with you. And thank you so much for that lovely activation that you kindly offered us. I certainly tapped into a clarity. I mean, themes that were there, but yeah, just giving it permission to just rise up was beautiful. Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to be putting the flow activations up on my website as a download.
Oh, brilliant.
Because people are asking for them.
Great.
And so that is something I'm going to be putting together soon that people can get hold of.
Good.
So yeah, drop onto the mailing list via my website.
Brilliant.
Worthiness.com. All that'll be in the notes, I'm sure.
Yeah, so workingwithvoice.com.
Activations are going to come online.
Beautiful. And we'll put the links in the show notes. Thea, it's been such a joy having you. Thank you so much for being a guest.
Thank you so much, Betty, for such a rich conversation. It's been a real pleasure. What a lovely way to start my Friday.
Hi everyone, Betty again. How amazing. How amazing was Thea? I loved that conversation. And if you're getting goosebumps hearing, connecting, maybe you enjoyed that meditation, connecting with your power, you want to find out more about Thea, and I really recommend you do. She's incredible. Go to workingwithvoice.com, and if you want to find out about how to enroll in Rising Tide, which is her group program, 4 weeks long for 30 change makers, speak boldly, influence widely, and shift the system, then go to workingwithvoice.com/rising_tide. You can find the links in the show notes. And she says here, we need passionate people like you who give a shit and carry a message for change. And Thea and I are so on the same page here. We are preaching from the same, what do they say? Hymn sheet. I don't know what that expression is, but you have got a message in you that needs to be shared with the world. Come to me to remove the obstacles, to do the healing so that you heal the wound. because there's usually some wounds that stop us from talking about the thing that is so integral, that is so close to our hearts. You need to be ready to speak up. And when you're ready, then when you've done the healing work and you're ready to speak up, this program with Thea sounds incredible. So yeah, find out more about Rising Tide at workingwithvoice.com/rising_tide. And if you want to find out more about me, you can book yourself a gift session with me, and we can dig in to see what might be in the way of you accessing your power. You can find me at truewealthwithbetty.com. Either way, whatever you do, wherever you are, whatever your mission is, whatever you're working on, whatever you're longing for, it's my heartfelt wish for you that you clear the obstacles and you access the power and the energy that will support you in birthing what is yours to birth and bringing that to the world, because my God, the world is in need of us all right now, and we all have a part to play. This is my personal belief. We all have a part to play, and whatever your story is, that's your story to share, to inspire others. And I hope that you'll do that. And if you need support, reach out to whoever you feel is the person to support you, whether it's Thea, whether it's me, whether it's someone else. I hope that you do that. I'm supporting you, cheering you on in your mission all the way. Okay, thanks so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. And as always, it really helps me if you would share this episode, if you enjoyed it, if there was something here for you and you think it will inspire someone else, please do share it. It really helps. Please subscribe to the podcast. Please send me recommendations of people you'd love to hear me interview on the podcast. I love to hear from you. And yeah, I want to co-create it to make it enjoyable for everybody. It's your show too. All right, sending you all so much love. I'll catch you next time.